Welcome, sports fan, to another edition of Stash Center. Now, this is our first one of this entire season, all right? Stash for the Dash 2010. 2010. Johnny, I never thought we'd be here.
I never thought that the stash world, is gone from mustaches of the 80s to mustache aficionado to the 2000s, and now we are 2010, and now we are here, Stash Center.
It's a great year for stashes everywhere. I'm Joey the Cannoli. This is my Stashaholic co-anchor, Johnny the Pastrami.
Johnny Pastrami here, and tonight on Stash Center, we have a series of topics to talk about for week 1 of Dash as the Stash. And let me tell you, it's been an interesting week.
That's right, Johnny. The week started off smooth, but it got stubbly really quick. We saw reserve defense at first, but then an offensive move from a rookie player that, well, we'll talk about a little later.
Alright, well, first up, we have the Gridiron Stash of the Week. And let me say, I didn't see it coming at all.
Me either, Johnny, me either.
Well, alright, this week's Gridiron Stash goes to Kelvin Knight for not having a stash at all.
Man, that is a one ugly stash.
0 stash. And I'm thinking, Johnny, how could you ever possibly try to win a stash competition when you just don't have any hustle? You have no hustle with your growth. You have no desperation or desire to win the game, you know. I mean, he's down this first week. He's down, and I don't see him coming back. There's no way to bounce back from that unless you really try.
You really have to try, Johnny. He's got to show some drive and some motivation. Otherwise, he could be hurting.
Yeah, and if he keeps continuing like this, his chances for Golden Stash are nil.
I'll tell you what, Johnny. The only thing that's nil is that stash.
Yeah, definitely, Johnny. And, well, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So, let's take a look at our Rogaine fastest stash of the week. And this week's winner, he's just been unstoppable on the growth. You know, he's been blazing speed. This guy has.
I've heard a lot about the league around this guy here. A lot of mystery around this guy. Okay, he came in the league. He's been in the league for a little while.
He's obviously had his experience. You know,
just
come back from another competition. He's hot off the grill. You know,
he comes right into the season. He's got blazing hot speed, okay? That thing's spreading like wildfire.
He's definitely a top contender, Joey.
Top contender, definitely. So who do we have next, Johnny?
Well, next up we have the Gillette Power Trim of the Week. And, well, there is no way to expect this one. It came out of nowhere. And it goes to Joshua Davis.
Joshua Davis. That stash is coming out swinging with bristly power moves that proves that less can sometimes be more.
And you know what? It's a thinking man's game, Joey. It's a thinking man's game. And trims like that are going to separate the handlebars from the peach fuzz.
Now let's go to a reporter in the field, our expert, Heinz Barstash. Heinz?
Joey, Heinz Barstash here with Joshua Davis and his mustache. Joshua, how do you think overall the mustache played out this week?
Well, you see, there's plenty of progress to be had. A mustache has started out slow, but in the end, let me put it this way, only time will tell.
You said you changed the trimming regimen. How successful do you think that played out?
I think it's actually working as a disadvantage for this first week. My mustache is looking a little weak. I trimmed it up top, gave it a little high top fade, trimmed the middle, you know. All in all, it's pretty weak right now, but next week, you're in for a big awakening.
You said this week if you wanted to be the best, you had to act like the best. How does that play out when people in the mustache community are calling you the Ditto Stash?
Okay, well, you see, ever since I was a young man, my mom always told me, in order to beat the best, you have to beat the best. You see, and right now, my biggest competition, I think, is Stack. PFC Stack.
It's a stack.
He doesn't grow hair in some spots, so I think he might be in the running for the golden stash. I'm going to knock him out by dittoing his mustache and making mine look better than his.
The mustache definitely looks amazing. Back to you, Joey.
Now, Hines, is there any way that this Joshua Davis could be a 1-week superstar?
9!
And it's that trim that makes Davis, aka the Ditto Stash, the official stash of the week. And this is why.
Let's take a look right here, and I'm going to break it down for you. All right, his mustache normally is like this, okay? He's got a little curvature to it around here, just a little bit, okay? Now, what actually is going to happen when he makes this power move is he's going to shave the middle of the stash. So his stash is going to look a little bit like this, okay? That allows for a power drive up the middle, just like Brucey's stash, okay? And it's just bam, bam, right there, tough acting to Nacton. Both sides of the stash are now perfectly in line, nice gap in the middle. It strengthens those lines, gives it a distinguished look. And what happens is it forces other players to make a move because nobody else has done anything yet. And now everybody's looking to this Joshua Davis kid coming out of nowhere, wondering how they're going to beat him.
And that's it for Stash Center. I'm Johnny the Pastrami.
And I'm Joey the Cannoli. Good night.